This week's episode is brought to you by Not Giving a Fuck. Not giving a fuck. Oh, what? Who cares?
Before it'll last until the call is done.
You know what the best part of that was? That all got caught on the recording. Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus at Night. I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
What phone game were you playing?
I'm playing Girls Frontline.
Hey.
Girls Frontline?
I know what that is.
I don't know what it is.
Also,
I would expect Root Beer to know. If he didn't know, I'd be disappointed.
I mean, my profile picture on Facebook was UMP45 for a really long time.
Okay, so let me explain Girls Frontline to you, to Atlas. It is a game where the guns are girls and or the girls are guns, which it doesn't fucking matter, right? The point is that you make teams of guns and shoot things.
Also, add me.
Wasn't there like an anime where the girls are battleships? Like, what is this?
Okay, so that was based on a browser game called Contact Collection, right?
Oh my god. Okay.
Contact Collection is also objectively worse.
Yeah, so Contact Collection doesn't have less gameplay somehow. Anyway, so they made an anime where girls are guns called Upote, which came out many years ago now, actually. So it's more like that. But the game's like pretty interesting. I'm like pretty new at it, so I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just like spamming assault rifles and submachine guns.
I've been playing this game since it came out.
Alright. Yeah, I'm just spamming assault rifles and submachine guns because it's really easy to do.
You know, I was already ashamed enough that I downloaded Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links like 10 minutes before this recording started.
I think that's worse, to be honest.
It is way worse, and somehow I don't feel as bad anymore because girls are guns, guns are girls, girls are battleships, and
you don't want your guns to be cute girls.
I live in California. I don't want any guns, or at least
I guess they're banned in California.
At least that's the meme, right? That and the plastic straws thing.
Because no one actually knows how California law works, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure even California legislators don't know how California law works.
More or less.
Well, speaking of guns, how about the UltraRare booster?
Oh yeah, we have a job to do. So today we're talking about the UltraRare booster, as you just mentioned, and it is a set with Gold Paladin, Angel Feather, and Neo Nectar, and we care nothing about them.
Whoa. Neo Nectar is like pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
They have cute little tokens.
They are adorable, but like none of us play any of these clans in real life. Like, the people who play the clans in the rest of Nexus Core are Richard, who declined to give his opinion because he hasn't tested anything, and Gabe, who, and I quote, said, "I don't want to be part of your dumb little podcast." So,
wow, rude.
Rude, yes. Very rude.
Alright, but have you seen the plant token, how cute it is?
Yes, we had a whole episode about how cute it was.
We can have another one.
We can just spend this whole episode talking about how cute plant tokens are.
I found out there's not one but two types of plant token in terms of the art. Like, there's
hold on. Let me get a gallery real quick then.
Yeah, there's that one, and then the one that looks like a cat, and then there's one that's like a tomato-looking thing.
Yeah, why would you not get the cat one, though?
Yeah, no, the cat one is best, for sure. But
it's almost like pretty good. Wait, is one of them rare? Is that why you have to get that one?
Maybe. I think... I don't know if they, like, just come in packs. It seems like they do, but...
Well, either way, everyone who plays Neo Nectar should get matching plant tokens, or else you're some kind of, like, horrible individual beer.
So me.
Like I said,
because I'm definitely gonna get, like, 2 of each, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do for the 5th one.
He knows how to tickle my, like, sadness bone on, like, matching. I'm currently in the process of getting Origin Rare Ruin Shades for Grand Blue because I hate myself. I'm halfway there, and it drives me crazy.
I'm gonna buy Min Rarity Marikuma this weekend and just not give a shit.
Fuck yeah.
I'm gonna go buy, like, base rarity Pale Moon and then probably continue not going to locals.
My wallet's going to be so hurt from Murakumo. Oh,
Yeah, a
no.
whole $12. Anyway, so to people who've listened or haven't listened to this show before, the way it works is we go from the highest rarity all the way down through the double R's, and then any other commons and rares that catch our fancy. If you want the full every single card thing, you can watch different fights videos that he puts out, usually around the time we do these episodes, where he just the effects of every single card, but that takes him very, very long, so we're not going to do everything. So I'll kick this off. So we have a Solidify Celestial Zerakiel for Angel Feather. So Protect Gift, grade 3, 12k. On Vanarreer, during your turn, if a new card was put into your damage zone during this turn, all of your front row units get plus 3k. And then in the damage zone, if she's there, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and this card is face up, you can put the top card of your deck into the damage zone face down and ride her as stand.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The first ability seems worded really oddly.
In what way?
Why doesn't it just say if a card was put into your damage zone? Why does it say new card?
I believe it's so you can't, it only counts the first card. It's not any, if you, damage swap 3 times, you don't get an additional 3k.
Yeah, but,
yeah.
That was
That was
clear.
already implied from being continuous, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know how they're, starting to do reminder text? Maybe that's why
I don't know. I
it's
feel like it makes it more confusing to say a new card. Because then you could have the question, what does it mean to be a new card?
Yeah, this one's been with me for 3 years. It doesn't count as a new card anymore.
But I'm just saying, I think the skill makes more sense if you say during your turn, if a card was put in your damage zone during this turn, all your front row units get plus power plus 3k. This is very clear. You asked the question, was a card put in my damage zone this turn, yes or no? If yes, plus 3k. If no, nothing.
I don't really know what to tell you. Maybe it's a, maybe it has...
This could be a weird translation thing.
It could be. We'll never quite know until it comes out in English. Maybe they'll just omit
I hope they fix that in English, because that looks really silly.
I mean, it's a one-word difference.
Well, it just, what does the word new mean? You shouldn't have useless words on cards.
I mean,
Unless...
This is coming from the company that have named things like One Who Hunts Souls Balam instead of Soul
Well, the
Hunter
name is
Balam.
nothing, but in the card, in the rules text of the card, you're going to have this word new, and that means if you swap a card out of damage then back in damage, is that card new?
That's a good
You see
question.
what I mean?
Yeah,
You see what I mean? This word is ambiguous.
fair. Okay.
If this word doesn't do anything, then why have it?
Trying to reinvent the wheel or fixing something that isn't broken? It's happened before.
It definitely seems like to me.
Yeah.
So first skill is exactly what we'd expect from Zerakiel. I think if it's not on the card, it's not even Zerakiel.
At least it's not Celestial specific. And so I was talking to our friend James, who went to college with us, and he has been testing extensively in Standard. His views on this is that it's pretty medium, but it is nice if you have multiple copies, because then you get a 6k to your front row if you have it on Vanguard and Rearguard. And he says sometimes he will even put a copy in the back just to give his front row a buff if he's on Metatron or something like that, which we'll get to in a bit. And then another thing he noted is that the second skill makes ride consistency a lot more feasible, which is something that is a problem in Standard, where if you can't get the thing you want, you die, and there's not a lot of avenues to get to it besides just drawing cards and drive checking, depending on what clan you are. That's one of the things that makes OTT so strong, is that you have ways to filter for the CEO or Imperial Daughter. This is, I lost my bastard to a damage check, and then Angel Feather is like, you poor sweet girl. It's mine.
This gives you a couple extra draws. So effectively, when you take damage, this gives you a couple extra draws at a grade 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Specifically for Zerakiel. Mm-hmm. But also, when you use that skill, you're up a card. Because you're not actually writing from hand, right?
That's true. You just put the card in your damage zone. It's also nice where if you went second, you can immediately come in with the grade 3.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't lose a drive check, which, again, we'll get to that later. Yeah, seems pretty solid. I don't know if it's going to be one of the more expensive VRs, but it's a good card.
The card doesn't seem busted. It just seems fine.
Yeah.
It's there, and you play it.
It's like Alfred, except way better than Alfred.
So speaking of other cards, we have the retrain of Incandescent Lion, Blonde Ezel. He's got just a little less hair than before. It's not taking the whole card; it's about half the card.
Was he taking
the old Ezel? The old Ezel has like the whole card full of hair.
Oh right, that's hair. I thought that was just like his background. Is that weird?
Oh, yes, that is weird. Anyway, so he has an activation in hand. If you have Knight of Superior Skills Bowmanes and Knight of Elegant Skills Gareth on your Vanguard or Rearguard circle, you can Soul Blast 1 Crimson Lion Cub Kerf and ride this card as stand. And if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 2 or less, it gets drive -1 to end of turn. So you can like. So the Soul Blast card is a starter, so you'll always have that.
Yeah.
But like, what's the idea here? Oh, and when it attacks, you can call a card from your hand from your guard circle. It has Excel Gift, all that garbage. So you can do this like pretty early, right?
Yeah, but like, is it worth it?
I mean, you have a head start on your opponent being at.
Well, you have to be grade 2, right? Unless can you call a grade 2 a grade 1?
Yeah, you have the grade 2 and grade. Basically, if you go first, you can get a head start on your opponent.
And if you went second, you can catch up.
Okay. Well, if you went second, you can get double Excel circles, or I guess. I don't know if that's worth it.
Yeah, I feel like this is like really rewarding when you go first, and like a little less like. So if you go first and draw all the relevant cards, or call all the relevant cards somehow. I don't think either of these cards search each other, do they?
No, the grade 2 searches the grade 1.
Oh, the grade 2 searches. Okay, so when placed, you can discard a card, search for the grade 1, call it. So you're committing a fairly decent column to ride this other thing for discard a card Soul Blast 1. Seems pretty alright.
Yeah.
You just have to draw the grade 2 and the grade 3, which is not like super huge, and the downside's not that bad. Like the on attack, like an on attack skill like that on Excel circle is like pretty relevant.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that you're trading hand for extra attack, which is not great.
So, yet again, another thing with you want to go first with Excel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were doing so well with Murakumo, and then this just seems to be a step in the other direction.
I mean, no inherent plus on this card kind of hurts. I think they're a little scared to give a lot of extra pluses. The fact that this already comes down early. Like, if you're going first, you can just have this when your opponent's grade 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get an extra turn of Twin Drive.
Right, which is pretty big. Like, you don't have Twin Drive for this turn, but you have Twin Drive for the next turn. And that's, like, a lot of pressure. So I think
you can also, like, re-ride and get another circle.
Yeah, it's, like, pretty bad if, like, and it's pretty bad if they get a trigger just because of how powers work.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this card's fine.
Yeah. Actually, even if you go second, you can still get a head start on grade 3, so...
Well, you also don't lose your Twin Drive.
You still get the drive -1, which kind of sucks, but you're still getting on grade 3 first, which can matter.
I wish that... I think it would have been nicer if they had to, like... Instead of call from hand, if it was, like, counterblast, check top 2, call something. That would have at least made it less painful.
Right.
But... Then again, this is not my horse, so I have sympathy, but I don't think it hurts me as much as it would.
I don't think you can make the card do everything, and I think this card is a very specific role. And I think it's like good at doing what it's supposed to do. Like it's supposed to be like a card that kind of like if you're ahead, it's just going to put you a lot more ahead.
But aren't win more cards bad? Usually.
I mean, in general, but it's Vanguard, right? So if you're winning more at the early stages of the game, your opponent can just be dead before it matters.
True.
Like your goal is to kill your opponent. So slam your cards in a battle.
One thing our friend Richard did bring up, who does all the editing and the thumbnails for these podcasts, actually on the YouTube channel, he said that Spike Brothers have become Gold Paladin, and Gold Paladin has become Spike Brothers.
It almost seems that way, yes.
In the way they play, for sure.
I think Spike Brothers won this trade somehow.
Out of this set, who won? Spike Brothers. What? Just go with it.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't have much to say about this card. I think the card's interesting. It's hard for me to gauge how well this will pay off, just because there is some risk to playing aggressively, and so you kind of have to weigh how aggressively you can be and what the payoff is.
There seems to be it looks like it's going to be a deck with a lot of draw triggers. I can say that.
Draw triggers are sweet, man. All right, so what's this?
All right, so what's her name? White Lily Musketeer Cecilia. She is a grade 3 with force, 13k, blah blah blah. So her skill is act once per turn. You can counterblast one, retire your guard, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, call up to 2 cards from among them, and shuffle. If you have a grade 3 in your soul, you can call up 3 cards instead, and your front row gains 10,000 power, or 3 units in your front row gain 10,000 power.
Man, if only this was Excel.
Excuse me? This card seems pretty nutty.
Yes, Warden from the book and movie holes. It is pretty nutty.
Okay.
It's a good book.
What do you-
Anyway.
What are you talking about?
Excuse me? That's it.
This card is pretty good. I think when we first saw plant tokens, we had already kind of anticipated something would go in this direction, where you retire rear guard, gain more cards. And so,
But you're saying you make some plant token on grade 2, right?
mm-hmm.
And you like do some battling or whatever, and then you ride this thing, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna sack my
You can either
So,
sack a plant
you get
token
the
or
10K
sack
no
one of
matter
your
how
own.
many, no matter if you have a grade 3 in soul or not, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so
You're kind of cutting out for me.
I'm trying to figure, I'm reading the card, and it says, if you have a grade 3 in soul, call up to 3 cards instead of 2, and 3 of your front row units get
Yeah,
powerful.
so I think you need the grade 3 in soul for the 10k.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, because that'd be really absurd if you didn't, right?
Yeah.
That
Just
moment
like
where he's not cutting off, he's just thinking.
Right. So you ride grade 2, call a plant, ride this, sack the plant, call 2 things, and if you gave them 10k, it's just immediately along with a force gift, that'd be pretty insane.
Mm-hmm.
So probably not.
Wow.
So I'm gonna guess that you need the 3 in soul for that, and it's also in that sentence.
Yeah, it's a comma instead of a period, which makes a difference, I think.
Right.
Because it's
Neat.
like, all right, so you do the thing to check top 5, call 2, but at the time of the thing, if you have the grade 3 in soul, then you skip the first sentence and go to the second one, because it says instead.
Right.
Yeah.
This card seems pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, very strong card.
I think even at earlier stages of the game, if you don't have the grade 3 in soul, you can still sack off some useless on play that you've already spent. You know, try to find 2 fresh new cards that could potentially make plant tokens or power up your plant tokens.
If you have the grade 3, this card is just like, well, here we go.
Yeah, well, it's fucking great if you're behind too, because you're like, all right, last ditch, call something on board, kill it, call a bunch of stuff, and also the fact that this doesn't happen just the turn you write it, so it's not like Imperial Daughter where you have to keep rewriting to keep getting the bonus. It's just like, I got one in the soul, so I'm doing this every turn.
Yeah. Like, you'd pretty much only rewrite to get more first circles.
Yep.
This
Yeah.
this seems to be another deck that doesn't need to rewrite to do what it wants, which is good. I think decks that can survive without rewriting but still benefit from rewriting are the ones that will stand the test of time.
Especially because of Murakuma right now.
Yes, watch me be wrong.
Also, a good thing that Musketeers is doing is they're calling non-triggers.
Yes.
So this is actually a really big deal. So as they activate the skill of Cecilia more, their deck is becoming more trigger dense, which is very relevant.
For sure. Speaking of trigger dense, we have Crimson Impact Metatron, which, oh man, this is a trip down memory lane for me. I used to play a deck with this and the nurse Shamsiel, I think her name was, back in like BTO 9 days. So it's good to see her again. Anyway, 12k grade 3 protect gift. When you rode from a grade 3, you counterblast 2, call a card from your damage zone to rear guard, and this unit gets plus 15k. And then the other skill is on Van, you can put a card from your damage zone to the bottom of your deck and deal 1 damage to this unit. So you get to rescue check without decking yourself out. And, again, this is...
This skill is, like, basically free, right?
Yeah, because...
so, like, you write it, you counterblast 2, you call one of the things you counterblast, presumably.
Yeah.
And then you steal the other card you counterblasted back to the bottom of the deck, probably a trigger.
Yeah.
And deal damage to yourself.
Oh, and then also that heals you, because you counterblast 2, call 1, you don't deal another damage to yourself. So, this thing's pretty bonkers in a good way, and terrifies me.
Free heal, +1, and possibly a trigger check.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it refunds itself, because you can take out the thing you counterblast and then put away the thing you other thing you counterblast.
Yep. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is the triple R.
We've already talked about the V, yes.
No, but like, this is their most broken card, I think.
Yeah, this card is like ridiculous and does everything, but the VR is just like ride consistency and some power, I guess.
So yeah, we have a kind of Royal Paladin thing going on here, where the triple R is doing most of the work, and the VR is nice, but it's not, driving the whole deck forward.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's all I have to say about that. And
the card's sweet. Yeah. I remember when they first pulled this card, we were all like, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
So are you gonna get ORs? What, are you playing Angel Feather?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I'm doing I'm doing Grand Blue and Standard and DI and Premium. Which side note, oh my fucking god.
Yeah, the deck's pretty busted.
It is degenerate, and we're seeing like top 8s where it's like 5 DIs. They need to hit Enigmatic Assassin yesterday, but that's not what we're talking about. What we are talking.
I think Enigmatic Assassin has needed to be banned for a long time now.
It doesn't need to be banned. Just put it to 1. You're good.
Same thing, really.
Or 2.
It needed to be on the ban list for a long time now.
It does need to get hit in some way, shape, or form, for sure.
Just hit it to 1.
Hit it to 1 is fine.
No dick in a ring.
Yeah. If you have a full board, you can still do full... Or 2... what's his face? No Life King restands, which is really good. Anyway.
What does this other card do?
What?
What does this other card do?
This other card is Rear Impetus Celestial Armady, which I'm pretty sure that's a cologne of some sort. So it's a 9k grade 2. On Vanna Rear, when placed from hand, you Soul Blast 1, call a card from your damage zone to rear, and put the top card of your deck into your damage zone face down.
Sure?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't know why it's triple R, but...
Here's a card that exists.
Yeah, it's basically just Counterblast 1, call something. Cool.
Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, call something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good, it's a fucking Glimmer clone without the plus 2k.
Easy.
Yeah.
Alright, so then we have the triple R for golds. First one is Knight of Superior Skills Bomain, so this was the 10k vanilla from the old game. Now back as a 9k grade 2 with a couple different abilities. The first one is when placed from hand on van or rear. You can discard a card from hand, search your deck for up to 1 Knight of Elegant Skills Gareth, and call it to your guard circle and shuffle your deck. So remember, that is a card that is also needed for Ezel's early ride ability. And also as a rear guard circle, when placed by your card's ability, this unit gets power plus 3,000 until end of turn. So if you call him with Ezel, he's at 22. On the Excel circle.
Nice.
Yep. But if you just call him normally, he does not get that 3k.
But if you call him normally, you can also search a Gareth if you.
This is a spike card, right?
It's a spike card. Yes, that is.
Okay. Just double checking.
Yeah.
This card's like fine. You're definitely gonna play it. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, for the early
you have to for Ezel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And the other triple R is a Player of the Holy Bull Vivian. So this was a triple R grade 2 from both the old one and the new one.
And it's also the origin rare, so you can get the old art with the new effect.
Yeah, so everyone should get the origin rare. So it says when placed in hand, you counterblast one, soul blast one. Look at 3 cards from the top of your deck. Call a card to rear guard circle from among them. Put the rest on the bottom, and just unit getting below 3K. I think this is like pretty decent.
It's a great turn 2 ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the old one had to hit a Vanguard.
Yes, it did.
And it was counterblast one. You look at the top card and call it.
Yeah.
The new one now, it's on place, counterblast one, soul blast one, so the cost is heavier. But you look at top 3 and call one, and this gets plus 3K. So this is like much better. It's not an on hit. It's not a like on hits are kind of like weird. It gets power, so it's getting like protect vanguards, and it's pretty easy to make it hit force vanguard like at a decent rate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're getting choice on call. Most of the time, you with the old Vivian, you like a decent percentage of the time you just call trigger. So this one, it's very unlikely you're going to reveal 2 triggers. Of course, if I play this deck, I would do that every time.
So if you reveal 3 triggers, it just means you're bad at this game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nah, man,
You
put
just
that
didn't wanna
shit
win.
on an Excel circle. Hit for 15. Do it.
Yeah, right. Get him. But I think this card's sweet.
Yeah.
This
It's
is like a
also
card I'd be
a
excited to run.
+1 that doesn't come from your hand in an Excel deck, which is always wanted.
Right?
Yes.
So you like it's plus in Excel deck. That's really all you need to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then plus, if you got rushed, you can, in theory, chain them together.
I do have a concern for goals as of now, is that there's a lot of soul cost.
Yes.
Yes.
So rewriting might end up being very important.
That's
So
that's
it
what
might be
bothered me.
important to get on Ezel immediately, just to be able to rewrite it earlier. But rewriting in Excel is like less good than rewriting in like Force,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it just means you have to commit more cards.
Yes.
So
I think the idea is that, like, fuck it, you're using all your resources, they're dead, you don't need resources.
yeah, they better be right.
They seem to be leaning into this more, I think, with this than they were with something like Murakumo
Yeah.
or Pillman.
Yep. Alright, so Pansy Musketeer Sylvia,
Yeah, I'm not one of those.
grade 2, 10k. Auto, Vanguard, Rearguard. When placed, you can call plant token to Rearguard, no cost.
These. It's 2 units for the price of 1.
Mm-hmm.
What's fun is that the old version of this card was like the 7k.
It was a Devil Summoner clone.
Yes, exactly. But it was for Musketeers only, so it didn't care about grade 1 or 2. It's like, if it's a Musketeer, call it.
That was better because you could make your whole deck. You could make most of your deck Musketeers, where you couldn't make most of your deck grades 1 and 2s.
Yes, exactly. But, like, this is still better than that, because at least you know what you're getting. And it's
Yep.
a 10K
And it's
base.
10k base, and also it's free.
Well, so
It's
is
like a
the other
grade
one,
2
but-
15k, really.
Yeah.
What?
It's like a grade 2 15k, really.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
because you get a nice boost. Good shit.
Yep.
It's especially nice if you go like, alright, right, Cecilia, call this, get a plant token, sack off the plant token, check top 5, call another, like, beat stick, and then a booster for that, or, you know, whatever grade 1 thing you want to get. And then more plant tokens, and then you fucking destroy your opponent in a swarm of pollen. Allergy-sensitive people, get your inhalers. Or antihistamines.
If some people who play new Nexus just bring inhalers, like, let me know if you have any pollen allergies.
That seems like some kind of thing where like, you would just have people at, like, regionals just flashing inhalers to each other to show that, like, they are solid in their support of Neodex.
Seems a little unnecessary, also.
I don't care if it's unnecessary. It makes me laugh.
Alright, so I can't believe they reused the art on this other card.
Lily of the Valley Musketeer, Rebecca. So, auto rearguard, when placed, one of your other grade 1 or less rearguards get power plus 5,000, and at the end of the turn, you can Soul Blast 1, retire a plant token to return it to your hand.
So,
Dang.
2 things. 1, what grade are plant tokens again?
0.
Fantastic. And 2, our friend Hao had the best nickname for this that I've ever seen. Becky with the good hair.
Alright.
Alright.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's like the same art as the last time.
What?
The art's like not very different from the last time we had this card.
Yeah, it's whatever. I mean, the effect is nice. What do you think about the bouncing part?
I think it's fine.
It's fine, not great.
It
I feel
clears
like there
out
are
some
better
plant
ways to spend
tokens for
plants.
later. And, like, you can recycle the power gaining, which is, I think, important.
I think I think you're not going to bounce it that often,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very likely you'll play it.
Yeah. I think you will. I might, depending on how much soul is available and how much I might need to use it, I might use the bounce.
Mm-hmm.
It's also good for guarding. Like, you can commit,
Yeah.
pressure on the opponent and then pull it back to your hand, guard with it next turn.
There's that, too.
Yes.
Yeah. I think this card is fine. Not necessarily triple R material, but fine.
I mean, it's like an on-place 5k to give 5k somewhere to me.
Yeah.
That's something.
With like mild upside maybe.
What?
With like a mild upside maybe in some matchups.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Man, a lot of these triple Rs are like, they're fine, but they're not amazing.
I think Vivian is like actively good.
Yeah, of course, but like Amaterasu blue.
I think the triple Rs for Angel Feather seem a lot better than the triple Rs for everybody else. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he had Armati was kind of take it or leave it, but Metatron, holy crap. Getting into the double Rs, we have Mobile Hospital Feather Palace. So,
Oh yes, he's back.
What?
It's back. The
Was
Mega
that-
Blast is
I was
back.
going to say, this is the Mega Blast, yeah. So, 12k, grade 3 protect gift. On Vannereer, when it attacks, you can Soul Blast 2 grade 3s, turn all cards in your damage zone face down. Until the end of that battle, this unit gets plus 20k in a crit, and your opponent cannot call Sentinels from his or her hand to guard circle. So this is like a weird combination between the deer and the antlion. And there's a lot to unpack here. Why don't you guys go first?
Why the fuck does it cost so much?
The Soul Blasting 2 grade 3s.
And, like, turning everything face down for 20k in a crit. I'm pretty sure other Protect decks have gotten this much for less.
Technically, the turning the damage face down is not the cost. It's part of the effect.
Yeah.
So if you have
If
5
you know
face
damage
down
is turned down,
damage...
this card is free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, aside from the Soul Blasting. But, it's... I don't know. James was fraught, I guess I could say, when he was testing it. It's a good way to finish, like, it does its job well, and you don't have to commit hand for it. He also said that if the game has gone this long, typically it's only like a counterblast 1 or 0, so...
Yeah.
I would play 2 of this card and not feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Personally.
I
Yeah,
play like
I would
1 or
start
2.
testing it too.
I play like 1 or 2, leave it in the damage zone, call it with Metatron.
Yeah, why not?
Like I think like when I built the first draft of the deck, I would like it was like with Sylvard for Dimension Police. Just start with 2 and see how you like it, and move up or down depending there.
Makes sense.
I mean, it turned out like with Mega Colony Antlion, you just decided to not play Mega Colony at all. But
So much shade.
look, sometimes the correct decision is not to play.
Yes. Yeah. Except with voting. Vote, people, please.
Yeah, everyone should vote.
What?
Fucking vote. Although it's already past the deadline to register to vote in most states now, I believe.
Yes, but...
If you have registered to vote, get out there and fucking vote, you pieces of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just kidding.
In
What I
Cal-
really mean is you should go out and vote.
In California, you are legally entitled to 2 hours off at the beginning or end of your workday to go vote. So,
Man, what you're telling me that that California is not attempting to suppress voters like Georgia or South Carolina or any of the other states?
yeah, Georgia especially, Jesus Christ.
Like, holy shit, voter suppression is very real.
Nexus
Anyway.
at Night, the Pod Save America podcast.
Anyway, go out and fucking vote.
Yes, please. Anyway, so, yeah, this thing's good. Good, double R. It's not as crazy as you think it is, but...
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't believe it was. I just think,
Yeah.
like, this card is effective, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I think when you, like, in the games where you activate the skill, it's probably going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially, if you called this with Metatron, like you said, that's, plus 35k.
Mm-hmm.
Got a 47k thing coming for your face, no sentinels.
Yep, you better drop a couple heals in there.
Yeah.
Use Metatron, Superior, Ride Zerakiel for that 3k. Call any other Zerakiels you have lying around, just boost this thing up as large as humanly possible.
Did it. Your opponent needs 2 heals plus.
So at the very least, that's 3 cards. That's quite good. Anyway, alright, there's also Wild Shot Celestial Regel. I think they meant Raquel, but whatever. Got the G and the Q turned the other way. Grade 2, 9k. When placed from hand, if a new card was put into your damage zone this turn, counterblast 1 to call a card from your drop zone to your rear guard circle.
Why do they keep saying new card?
That's not the part I'm focusing on. The part I'm focusing on is that they gave a Grand Blue card to Angel Feather.
Yeah.
This should have been the triple R.
Wait a second. This card's going to be really annoying in premium, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
This card is good in standard, because it means there is no off limits for Angel Feather.
Oh my god!
It's in my
And
damage
Counterblast is
zone.
not even real cost.
Yeah.
This card's crazy. Why does Angel Feather have so much plussing to field?
Because there doesn't seem to be a lot of plus in the hand outside of gifts. But
Oh, fair enough. They just have an actual heal.
Yeah.
yeah, this
Which, if we think about, it's kind of hard to equate a heal to how much damage, how much hand that might be, but it's a lot.
well, especially in standard where cards mean more, being able to go from 4 to 3 in standard format is very strong. Or even
Right.
5 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like playing against Angel Feather, I know with Tachikaze, I'm going to be spamming that damage ping skill like it's the fucking end of days. Same with Shadow Paladin and Phantom Blaster Dragon, I'm guessing. But yeah, so this thing's freaking cool and awesome and cool.
And also a Grand Blue card.
And also a Grand Blue card, yes.
Can we talk about this grade 1, grade 0?
What, Battlekeep and No Seal?
Yeah, we need to talk about this draw specifically.
Before you get to the shtick, at this point, this is the draw perfect card for Angel Feather, so we lump it in with the other two. So Halo Shield Mark for Gold Paladin and Maiden of Blossom Rain for Neo Nectar. They're all draw triggers. They all have the PG skill. Okay, Matt, do your thing.
All right, so this Battlekeep and No Seal, as the more aware of you might have figured out by now, is the same name as the grade 1 No Seal from BTO6.
Yes.
Meaning, if you're playing the draw trigger No Seal at 4 copies, you can no longer play the grade 1 No Seal.
In premium.
So if you're
Good.
playing the grade 1 No Seal, you can no longer play the draw trigger PG. Unclear if this was intentional by Bushiroad or not.
Oh, it was 100% intentional.
All right. So I would love to believe that, but it is Bushiroad.
I don't know. Much like a man with dementia, Bushiroad occasionally has moments of clarity. I think this is one of those moments of clarity.
Could be. It's definitely interesting that they locked out the grade 1 No Scale with the draw trigger PG. I think it's good of them to do that, actually.
Yeah, and it's a way to do it without pissing off too many people. 'Cause
Right.
It's just like, oh, they're reprinting everything. Oh, it's the draw PG. That sucks.
Although what I expect will happen anyways, people will just play for the grade 1s and just not care about this PG.
Yeah, probably.
Because that requires playing draw triggers in Angel Feather, which is like
The
medium.
worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
Also-
thing James mentioned.
You
Was
literally have to.
what?
There's also going to be at least one person that doesn't realize and tries to put both in their deck.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Or someone's gonna do like a 2-2 split for whatever reason. Which,
It's like Pokemon, where you can't have more than 4 of the same name Pokemon. It's like the same thing.
oh yeah. Oh man.
All right, so we have some Gold Paladin cards here.
Yes.
We got Battlefield Storm Sagramore. So this card has been released in English for some reason, or shown in English. So
Well,
it's
it
other
was
Vanguard
original.
Vanguard Circle.
Never mind. Continue.
No, we have the new version shown in English.
Yeah.
So Vanguard Vanguard Circle, 1 place from hand, Soul Blast 1, draw a card and call a card from hand. Vanguard Circle.
Cool.
So it's another one of those weird Spike Brothers cards.
It's also a plus in Excel, so that's
Yep.
good.
It's free. It's great.
It kind of
And you-
sucks you can't do this off of Vivian though.
So you have to call a card, right?
Yeah.
That sucks. That's kind of shitty that you have to call a card.
There is a Tachikaze card similar to this, where when it's retired during your turn, you counterblast and you draw and you have to call something.
Yeah, so if this were like call a normal unit from your hand or your circle, you wouldn't have to call because you could just say, "Oh, my hand has no normal units."
Yeah.
There's like no way to check. Like what? I'm gonna reveal my hand to you to like. This card's interesting. I'm not. I don't know if they're gonna. I assume they might play some copies in some number of this card.
I would play some. Like, I think this. If you don't, for some reason, don't get the Ezel ride chain off, this is an acceptable first ride.
Yeah, you get a card back, call something, and you want to be beating down anyway. So if you're not calling something, if you don't want to call something, you're probably losing that game anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's probably acceptable.
Yeah.
Acceptable.
Probably play like one or two of it.
Yeah,
it's fine. Yeah, it's a +1 in XL. We take those.
Oh my! I've been waiting the whole episode for this next card. Because just of what Matt said during the reveal. Have at it, sir.
So white hair in the Moon Shadow Pelennor. So it's grade 3, XL gift, 12k power, all that garbage. So when I first read this card, I was just astounded by how many costs were on this card. To fit with the early writing theme of Gold Paladin, which is apparently their shtick in this one. At the end of the battle, that your rear guard's attack hits a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, counterblast 1, and a soul blast 3. Ride this card as stand, and this unit gets drive -1 till end of turn. So if you hit a grade 3 or greater, counterblast 1, soul blast 3, ride as stand, and I just.
Where is Gold Paladin getting all this soul from?
We'll talk about this in a second.
I really think it's a typo.
That your rear guard attacked a Vanguard, counterblast 1, and return that unit that attacked to your hand. All right, so they want you to attack with some shit, attack with some other shit, you attack your Vanguard, attack with some shit, hit your opponent's Vanguard, ride this idiot, attack some other stuff, and counterblast to bounce that stuff. All right, I just don't think this card is like reasonable because like you're at soul like when you ride grade 3, you have 3 soul.
Yeah.
That's just assuming you're not using Vivian, ever.
You're not using
You're going to
Sagramore.
save your soul for this guy, for an extra like an extra Vanguard attack with 1 drive check. I just don't think this is reasonable, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
Like rewriting is not great in Excel, so that's not where you want to be getting your soul for the most part. So
I don't think there's any battle phase calling to even take advantage of that circle aside from Ezel, who's a grade 3.
Right. Like I just can't see this card being good. Like it has so many costs on it, especially for standard.
Hey, I'll give you $5 if you punch me in the face. What? Just do it.
Also, like, that's another reason you would probably play Sagramore, because this is your only other option.
Right, and I think like what was crazy is like the old Pelennor was like a staple in a lot of early Gold Paladin decks.
Yeah, because you could chain them into each other.
You would hit with Vivian on grade 2. You would call the top card. It's fucking Pelennor. And you're like, well, here we go. Like I can't count how many times that happened.
Yeah. No, of course it happens to everyone but
like,
you.
Because that's how life works. And you're like, oh well, my hand sucks, so I can't. Like my hand's full of grade 2, so I can't guard because you're on grade 1. And they're like, oh, counterblast 1, I'll call a top card. Pelennor, discard a card, ride.
So have we found a restander worse than Maelstrom?
Yeah.
Well, this is even a restander, right? But it's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
The cost is so high.
Why couldn't they just keep the discard?
Like, I don't even think I would play around this card, to be honest. Like, I think I wouldn't even care.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I mean, if it kept the twin drive, I feel like it'd be slightly less painful, at least. But
so there is a situation where this card might be playable if the deck is in fact very aggressive, and then this card threatening an extra attack could be relevant.
Oh yeah.
But we'll have to see. Like, so I'm going to say that this card is not great, but if the deck is hyper aggressive, the cost could be worth the extra attack. In a sense, like I have to get my opponent dead right now.
You know what would work better with this? If it was a forced gift. Because triggers. Like, it would have been nice to be like, alright, ride this, get another forced gift. I'm hitting for 33k.
Is the dream just to call Sagramore with Ezel, though?
I think so.
Probably.
It's like...
like, that's what... Like, as of now, that's kind of what I want to be doing.
Yeah. I can't even make a joke about this countering Murakumo, because Ezel already does that.
Alright, but think about this. You attack with Ezel. So you attack with like 2 rearguards first, right? Maybe you have 2 Excel circles because you hate your life. You attack with both of them. You attack with Ezel, call Sagamore to an Excel circle. Sagamore skill, draw a card, call the other Excel circle. Oh, baby.
Doesn't even have to be an open circle, so you can start getting your early pokes out of the way and then start dumping your hand if you really want to go off.
Yeah, this is what I would be doing, because this is like, it's such minus, but, you know, fuck it, right?
You know what's another thing, is that this only works from hand. When the point of Excel is you want to be filling the board, why couldn't this work on rearguard circle?
Because it'd be really weird.
Sure.
And also, you would have to be like, are we moving it, are we riding it, are we doing any of these things? So it's just not worth it.
Yeah. I feel like it would have just made it feel less taxing,
Yeah.
but... Like you said, if it ends up being hyper aggressive and the cost doesn't matter because they're dead, then the cost doesn't matter because they're dead. So, fine.
All right. Well, Halo Shield Mark looks a lot better than he did in this old art, so that's good.
I actually haven't really looked at the art. Oh wow, he does look a lot better. That's
cleaner.
Looks like an actual gold shield. Good for him.
Alright, so Maiden of Trailing Rose, grade 3, force, 13k, blah blah blah. So, skill is Vanguard, Rearguard, one place. You can call up to 1 plant token onto Rearguard Circle. If this unit's on the Vanguard Circle, call 2 instead of 1. And then, once per turn, you can Soul Blast 1 and 3 of your plant tokens gain 5k.
Also
until end of turn. Yep. Good first ride.
So you ride the grade 2, ride this, and then just bash, bash, bash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Also, the calling is free, so you can just have a board by riding this card.
You can call 2 cards, and with the grade 2 ride in this, you'll have a 4 board.
Mm-hmm.
And then you ride Cecilia after this, right? Just go off?
Yeah, and then for a single Soul Blast, you can get all those plant tokens to be 10k boosters.
Easy. Well, I was thinking of putting some in the front row. What do I know?
That would be nice.
Alright. And then the other one was... It's like my phone's being finicky. Dandelion Musketeer Merca. So, her skill is, 1 place, Soul Blast 1, call plant token to the same column. So she is not free, unfortunately. And then Rearguard, when other Rearguard is placed in the same column, it gets 3. This unit gets 3k until the end of turn.
So she immediately becomes 11 with a 5k booster?
Mm-hmm.
So that adds to 16.
Yep.
Which is...
weird.
Not enough.
And then...
And 9k grade 2, she's hitting for 20. Which is also not great.
I guess if you power up the plant token in the same column, it becomes 21, which is also not good.
Which is still not a number.
This card is weird.
Yeah, this card definitely has very strange powers. Like, I mean, I think it makes sense being a grade 1 that it gives this kind of power, but man, this card's awkward.
Yeah.
I guess it works on Van, so you can call it, so you can do it on the first ride, which could be valuable.
I don't know anyone that blocks your grade 1 that often, though.
I mean, that's fair.
I guess since you don't have a booster anymore because Forerunners don't exist, it's easier to block early if your deck doesn't... See, I feel like you'd only do block if you were playing against other Neo-Nectars because you don't need the counter blasts.
Maybe this is the early game that they needed in Premium or something. Who knows?
I don't know. This card is fine. It's just kind of awkward.
Yeah,
like, it's good for early rushing, I guess. Like, that's mainly it.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the old one better where if you shuffled your deck, she was a 9k boost. I mean, granted, that doesn't scale well for this, but just much simpler, and yeah. So that's the end of the double R's, the last one being Mandam of Blossom Rain, which we mentioned before. So now we're at the point where we pick out any rares or commons that, jumped out at us and then talk about who won the set and what this means for premium. So, one I picked out because I asked James a bunch of questions, and then he completely ignored are there any commons or rares that stood out to you, and then he just started talking about matchups. So, that's James for you.
That's what I would have done as well.
What?
That's what I would have done as well.
So the first thing that popped out at me is a Syringe Lesser. So it's a common 7k grade 2, 10k shield. Or sorry, 7k grade 1, 10k shield. You can put it into your soul, and 2 of your units get plus 5k until end of turn. What doesn't jump out at me is the effect. What jumps out at me is that one of the freaking Great Nature cards went to Angel Feather. We already had someone join the football team. Now they're going to med school. What is going on?
Look, man. It doesn't even give 4K. It gives 5K. How do you feel about that?
That's fine. Actually, in terms of the effect, it's actually not that bad because you get a soul.
All right, but if it were an 8K and gave 4K, it would be like it would fit exactly with Great Nature.
Yeah, it would. Hell, the Spike Brothers one at least gave 4K to stuff, but no, this is 5K.
Yeah, because fuck you, that's why.
Syringe Lesser has moved on with its life. It's TAing the professor's classes. It's got a big-ass syringe. Anybody else got one?
Yeah, so I have a Knight of Elegant Skills, Gareth. So this is the other piece of the Ezel Ride Chain. So it's a pretty simple card. I just bring it up only because it's relevant for the Ezel Ride Chain. On Rigard Circle, when placed by your card's ability, you can counter +1 and it gets power plus 10,000. The card is not inherently interesting, but it is relevant that you have to play it with the Ezel stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it is also nice that if you do his skill, he can hit force numbers by himself.
Yep.
So, and then move him back and use him as a booster on future turns.
What you got, Root Beer?
Knight of Collective Prosperity, Craig. So it's a 7k grade 1. Skill is all your plant tokens in the same row get 5k power.
His name's
Craig.
Yeah, Craig, Craig.
Wow. It's that's a very boring name for a musketeer.
You shove him in the back, and he gives your plants a pretty big boost.
Yeah. So this plus the Maiden of, I already forgot her name. You have 15k plant tokens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that plus 4 circles. Chilling, for sure. And the only thing that can
kill also means Mirka isn't as weird, awkward column anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So another card I wanted to bring up... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I know, I was going to say that, 7k with the 13... It is kind of a weird column still, but, it's free. You don't have to do anything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was done otherwise. Continue.
Do you have another card?
Who, me?
Yeah.
So I had one if... I'm going to wait till you do yours to bring it up in case you don't.
Right.
But
so I'm going to bring up the bunny.
Okay, good. That was the one I was
thinking. By the bunny,
of.
I mean Listener of Truth Dindrain.
Oh. Son of a
Lopier
bitch.
is less interesting. Lopier the new Lopier is less interesting. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. So this is another card that I kind of wanted to bring up because of how they're costing skills in Standard.
Mm-hmm.
So it says when placed by your card's ability. So this is no longer needs to be called from deck. It now can be called by any card's ability, which is an upgrade.
Yeah.
You Soul Blast 1, and you play... So it's a modal card, so you get to choose. You can either pick to draw a card, or countercharge 1, and it gets power plus 3,000.
That's good.
So I think Soul is more rare than counterblasting in Gold Paladin somehow.
Yes.
Yes.
Which I will bring that up in a second with another card, but yeah.
Right. And so I'm sitting here why... I feel like this is going to be a lot better and not... if somehow premium golds become a thing, which I'm not sure that's going to happen. But then maybe...
Maybe. They also get a second wave in 2 sets or something like that.
Right? They might need it already. Yes.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, I just feel like there's just so many soul costs in this clan.
Yes.
Yes.
And especially in the one gift that doesn't really benefit as much from rewriting as it does for Force or Protect.
And since we brought it up, we might as well talk about the other bunny, Lop-Ear Shooter. So it has an effect in hand. At the end of the battle that your grade 2 or greater Vanguard attacked, you can counterblast 1, call it to hand call this to rear guard circle and get power plus 5,000.
I liked old Lop-Ear Shooter better. A lot
same.
better.
Yeah. Old Lop-Ear Shooter was like kind of gross actually.
Yeah. What was it on? It was on call from deck or just on call?
Oh, it was played from deck. You discard a card, calling it. But what it did was, like in the old deck, what it did is it just found fucking Pelennor.
Yeah.
Like every fucking time.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Bunny's
that was the other way you would lose games. Is they'd be like hit with Vivian, call Lop-Ear, discard for Lop-Ear, find Pelennor, and they like discard again. They discarded 2 cards, but it doesn't matter because they have Pelennor. It's just like, excuse me.
Yeah.
It was just absolutely gross. So, I mean, I think this card is fine, but again, there's like a lot of costs going on in this clan. So you're like managing those kind of resources is going to be a very big part, and managing resources along with aggression.
Yeah. Well, one thing that bothers me is that because a lot of these things are played from hand, you either are hemorrhaging resources by calling over things, or the circles are empty, and then you're just filling them from your hand, which you would have fucking done normally in your main phase. It doesn't make more attacks.
Alright, listen to this. If your opponent's dead, the resources you wasted don't matter.
I feel like that's a general theme with this episode. If they're dead, resources don't matter.
But is there a single Gold Paladin card that like generates soul in any way?
Not that I know of, unless it's one of the commons.
No, but there is one that there is one that benefits from having no soul.
It gets plus 8k.
Yeah, Warring Brave Knight Tornus. If you have 1 card in your soul, it's 3k, and then if you have no cards in your soul, it's 8k instead.
Yeah. So effectively, what's going on here is they want you to keep rewriting, and like during combat, but rewriting costs soul in the case of Ezel. So you're not gaining soul by rewriting Ezel. And you're not gaining soul by writing Pelennor in the special way. You're losing 2 soul writing Pelennor, and you're even on soul writing Ezel. So like you're basically stuck at 3 soul unless you rewrite something like from hand.
So so basically, where royals have no counter charge, golds have no soul charge.
Right.
Yeah.
Great.
And a lot of the card cost soul. Yes. So in my expectation, I think you will not be wanting to use Pelennor because you'd rather use something like Vivian, probably.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's definitely very strange.
One thing I can say, at least for premium for golds, is that just doing the Ezel thing and then going into Glorious Reigning Dragon later. Mwah. No?
I don't know.
Like, because it's like you call one thing for everything in G-Zone, if you just speed your way to like a really high count, and then you have like 2 to 3 Excel circles, you can just call a full board of 8 attacks or something like that.
I guess.
It costs a lot of ammo, and you have to like not have to discard that for other stuff.
Well, I mean, if you're running more of the older stuff that lets you like fill board without having to use hand, then might help. I don't know. That's
wait, no, you use the Wait, no, this doesn't actually work. Never mind.
What?
The Garmor Liberator has to call Liberators, right?
I was thinking. I was thinking what you could do is like have.
No. So the Garmor Liberator, Liberate 4. You have to counterblast your Liberators. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Damn.
So what you can do is you use Ezel as your Excel circle engine, and then use Gurgit Strides to kind of bridge the gap on Gurgit support. And then eventually, if you want, write the other Gurgit. If not, just keep rewriting Ezel and using Gurgit Strides, because there are a lot of Gurgit Strides.
We're talking about Excel circles, not Garmor Excel, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That laugh is never good.
It's Excel EXCEL rather than ACCEL.
What?
The Garmor Excel is EXCEL, not Axel.
Funny.
Yeah, funny. It's pretty hilarious. I'm the funniest person.
Yeah, he definitely knows how to put a spreadsheet together. What was I thinking of? There was that, and then who won this set for standard?
I'd probably say
I think,
Neo Nectar.
Same.
Yeah, I think Neo's and Angel Feathers and Golds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
This is just from my initial, no data, kind of no testing, no anything. From just reading over the cards and kind of trying to put together a coherent picture. I think Neos have the most coherent deck. I think the Angel Feather stuff is pretty powerful and kind of breaks the rules of the game, which apparently can have a lot of variance to it. So Angel Feather is kind of the most wildly varied, but I think it's stronger overall than Golds. And I think Golds looks like it just wants to be hyper aggressive and just try to kill the opponent before all the minusing mat starts to matter.
Mm-hmm. So basically, Golds is an Excel deck.
Yep. Of the worst variety.
I mean, whatever. Resources don't matter if you're dead. That's our fucking... We need that in Latin on a plaque of...
But that was the old Spikes motto, right?
Wait, what?
Every old Spikes card managed to minus somehow.
Oh, I thought you said Old Spice, like the deodorant. I was like, what? Old Spice?
Listening.
Ladies, look at your man. Now look back at me. I'm playing football. Okay, that needs to be a shirt. That'd be great. Just the fucking Old Spice guy in Spike Brothers pads. All right. So, in Premium, I'm sure, if we get more data, we'll eventually get to all the clans on the Premium profiles, so, maybe Gabe or Richard will have more info from us, but I think there are some fun things to cleave out of it, mostly in Golds and, Gold Paladin, I said Gold Paladin twice, Golds and Angels. I think Neo Nectar might have a Tachikaze-like problem with the plant tokens versus the Asha stuff.
A lot of the plant stuff is musketeers, at least, so there's that question mark.
Yeah, but it was literally the same thing. Do I do the gauge thing, or do I just jam the Rex engine in there, which wasn't as good as the Gaia stuff? So, do I jam Asha in there, or do I just do musketeers, which wasn't as good as Asha? And, this is going to be a problem with any clan that deviates from its previous playstyle too much. Spike Brothers being the one exception, because you went from a hemorrhaging resources playstyle to a gaining resources playstyle, and as I've been told, that's quite good.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think I hope this kind of shakes up Premium. I hope that Neo Nectar has a way to work. Because I think the early game. Neo Nectar's problem before is they did nothing early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were just all right, I'm going to sit here, wait for my opponent to slap me in the face a bunch of times and hope to get there.
But now you have a very strong early, especially for a Force clan.
Right.
Force clans usually have, mid-range... No, this is very strong.
Also, my friend sent me a picture of a secret of whatever they're calling the PBDs.
Oh, the numbers, right?
Yeah.
What, did he pull
And, of course, they're misprinted.
Yeah, he did.
Wow, congrats. What number did he?
All I'll say is it does not end in 69, so it's not worth a bunch.
What was the number?
I'm not going to say here.
Oh, fun. I mean, I've seen 1, 2, 3, and 666, and,
pretty good.
Yeah.
So only
I love that their super special ultra print of PBD is also misprinted.
Yeah. Why, because it says unit instead of rear guards?
Only Bushiroad would do that.
Of course they would. I mean, I just love that they're like, all right, guys, we're not going to misprint anymore. We're taking some time to sort things out. We misprinted again. Fuck! All right.
At least we know what the wrong art for Dailander is now.
Miracle.
But I want to use the wrong art.
Yeah, of course you would. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. But you could just play the actual promo now.
But you can play both.
I mean,
that's true. But then you'd have to actually play Dailander.
Where's the universe, Dailander? All right. So that was pretty much the whole set. You can find us on Twitter at Nexus at Night or on Instagram. You can find me at Atlas Novak.
Find me at Wiggum with 2 G's, 2 Z's.
And me at Plasma Eclipse.
All right. So, anything else to add before we sign off here?
Not shit.
No shit indeed. Remember, resources aren't important if the opponent's dead. Until next time, I was Atlas.
Still Matt.
And I'm Root Beer.
And have a good night, everybody.